Hello there, this is the final activity. My name is Alexander Zavala, and let's go with the introduction. The purpose of this evaluation is to share an experience in counseling, monitor, and supervision. Recognizes the linguistic and cultural diversity of the student and the Aboriginal schools communities. The proposal wants to know the linguistic and cultural plurality has a characteristic of our country and the environments in which we live, in valuing, protecting and developing cultures and their vision because the experiences of pluralism and diversity has allowed it to build and reaffirm our own identity with the participation of teachers in front and a group of teachers of education English. By the context. For people like this, it's difficult to learn English from a language such as Spanish. Their mother tongue is also will know that if they have children, and so they will not have the proper condition to of health, hygiene, and nutrition. The adolescents will be at a great disadvantage to carry out their learning and evaluation activities. Another aspect to consider is the state of adolescence, which is full of physical, emotional, and behavioral change that give to the adolescents a great instability. I'm sorry. It is essential that the teacher teach them how to manage research and achieve a constant self-motivation. But over time, everything is achieved is pointing out methodological strategy to achieve their teaching and learning in the future can be one of the best professional in the knowledge provide. This is the population addressed. A group of Aboriginal students who belong to a chattel in the department of Baupes. Students recite 2 hours of English every day. The group is 16 students aged 11 to 16 years. For the methods and approach. Throughout the constructive model, the student create a similar environment. It is created in which each of the students, by means of previously divided groups, create a city-like environment through a cardboard format if we don't have Google Earth. And so in the drawing, the main element is stand out, for example, city of interest, place of reference. Let's hear the picture and the high stream, main stream, museum. Anyway. The assessment for English specific purposes. From the previous knowledge, the study will describe individually the concept and characteristics of the different places and the cities that make up a drawing environment, in this case, a city. Then the teacher expose and exchange ideas based on the approach and the opinions of the student on the vocabulary and construction or paragraphs. Then the student meets again in teams and the identification and establishment of category are started. They use the drawing maps on topics and techniques for the use of the environment, like speak in another class, and this is our city, maybe an example. For the final assessment of young students and evaluation of technologies. Here, if we study under the qualitative method, the specific learning management system or LMS that allow the administration of multiple choice tests and the administration, for example, a model or Google Forum if you have internet. But the second model to be evaluated in this field of the most encyclopedic in reference to accumulation of content that can be managed from a more complex source or from different sources. In that case, if you don't have internet at that moment, we can use chat with images that focus the attention. We instruct in the elaboration of the interactive words. In other words, the imagine is word and a Thompson word, like we see Spider-Man. I have lost more than I even want, and every time I get up. I mean, it's motivation sentence, but it's nice to learn. Finally, a collaborate evaluation in this field, they come with the visualization of the collaborative process involved in different illustrations, such as debates or discussion forums on the working groups. Like when see debates on, hey, I want to talk from them, and you talk from them, and you put a picture, something like that. Let's go with the speaking strategies. Question or clarification. This means that talking the English speaker and asking them to repeat paraphrases, summarize in different words, explain or give examples. You can say, repeat, I'm sorry, I don't catch it. You can say again, or paragraphs is, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. Can you tell me again, please? or explain. Could you explain that for me? Or the example, could you give me an example? Recording yourself. Recording yourself speaking either on your own or with other people. Later, you can review the recording, listen for your problems, such as having too much, or research anything that you didn't know to say. From a group of people to practice speaking English. In CIRR, you can join to the SAP to do this with a teacher. The English club also runs to the big mount corner of the speaking practice. Sing. If you can sing English song that you like, either alone or your friends, for example, karaoke or maybe in the shower, you can join a drama group or a group that put the English plays, like a role play. Or the LEC has a drama, some example. Or imagine that you are in a situation where do you need to speak English. By example, has a character you like in the movie. So here I am the law, like Just Red, or Terminator, like I'll be back. That's in trying an example. In trying to imagine what would you say. Do you know what you say? I remember the Avengers, the first Avengers, who maybe use the apox of short form, like who's Gamora or who is Gamora. It's just an example. The written strategies. It's like a feedback, but in your book. Note taking. This is a good idea to write down the main ideas, important points, and outline of or a summary of our topic. Organization. You can use a mind map or something, organization tool or pros and cons calculator to help you organize the information. Proofreading. You can use this program if you have online to automatically check for some common mistakes like grammatically the app. Pre-review asks to a friend to you text and comment on it. Do they understand it? Your friend can understand you. Can they suggest any improvements? And to-do list is a list. Write a list of 10 specific problems you have with your writing. Put it in order to the seriousness and solvability. Work on the highest priority problems until you solve them. When you have solved them, cross out them and added the new problems to the bottom to the list. As a few way. Thank you so much for watching.